as you're starting a new business, find a thing that you can become quote unquote category kings at, which means how can I get into a market where I can become the best at it before anyone else, i.e. Apple, when they innovated the tablet, right, which basically was the first iPad, because they were first to market, they are now the category king for iPads and for tablets. Everybody else came behind them, Microsoft, Samsung, trying to do what they did.
Facts.
But the reality is that they were the first ones to do it by taking a computer screen and putting it into a smaller screen. And boom, innovative new solution.
Yo, what's going on, fam? It's your boy, Anthony O'Neal. Welcome back to the table. And today I'm pumped, man, because I don't have just a guest today. I have one of my closest friends. I'm just going to put it out there. Man is young. He's married, ladies. Let me tell you right now. Bruh, man is taken. What you about to hear, his testimony, his story, and his net worth. Let me say this again. Their net worth is going to blow your mind away. You've seen him on Forbes. You've seen him on TV. You've even probably been a part of some of his content in the past. Y'all, can we help welcome my brother to the table where we have a real, relevant, and relatable conversation? My brother, dear friend, Jamal Miller. What's going on, big bro?
What's up, bro, man? I'm so excited and honored to be here, bro. We about to have a good time.
Oh, man, I don't think the people ready for the conversation we're going to have today. You know, but I got to go on record. Thank you for allowing me on your schedule. It took about 2 years to make this happen.
Hey.
But man of God, I thank you.
Bro, well, I thank you, for remembering me after asking you 2 years ago, bro, we got to do a podcast. See how I did that?
Hey, man. Hey, listen, man. We both out here working. We both out here grinding, man. And so real quick before we get started, you're married to my beautiful sister, man. But you all just had a baby, so congrats, bro.
Thank you so much.
She's coming home today, right?
Coming home today, man. We're so excited. Her name is Justice Sky Miller.
Wow.
And we just believe that she is super timely. I put on my Instagram, my Facebook, Justice has come.
Justice have come. Man, love it. Well, you know what, Jamal, man, here on my show, we focus on, I pretty much say like three main topics. The first topic is pretty much how to get young people out of debt and help them avoid debt. And then my favorite topic is how to build true wealth, not the fake wealth, not the fake rich, not the have the nice car but be broke at home, but how to really build true wealth. And then the other part of it is like how to have healthy relationships that helps you build true success as well. But today I want to live in that lane of building true wealth. You and your wife just a few months ago crossed over $10 million in profit when it comes to your company. And you're a young millennial. And so I want to go all the way back to the beginning because, when you and your wife were just starting, I think you was making like $10 an hour. You was on food stamps. Let's go back to the beginning of the story and land where we are today because I want to make sure we give some people some practical steps on how can they build a multi-million-dollar business and become a millennial millionaire like you and your wife. But let's go back to the beginning because I think everyone wants to talk about today, but they don't want to talk about the struggle. Take us back to the beginning of your story, bro.
Absolutely. So I started my initial pursuit in purpose because I think that's the piece that I'm sure everyone can connect to that listens to your podcast and your tribe is they want to be in God's will for their life. They want to be fulfilling purpose and destiny. And that's where I began. And I began at a place where I'm like, God, I want whatever you have on my life to come into full fruition. Yeah. I want to die empty. Anything that you deposited in me, God, I want it to come out. So whatever you got to do to make that happen, I want to do it. And so I knew as a young 16, 17-year-old identity, messed up, out all over the place. I always say like this, I fell in love with love before I fell in love with God, right? Just wanted to have relationships, but that season of my life led me to a place where I realized, if I don't figure out who I am, I'm going to mess some stuff up, right? Yeah. And I got that revelation. I'm grateful at an early age. Yeah. And that led me into the pursuit of God, I need to find out why I was created or I'm going to waste what I've been given, the gifts you've given me. Yeah. That season of my life really shaped me of falling in love with God and falling in love with purpose and destiny. And, from there, I knew, man, that I was called to just impact people. I just knew that I was like, man, whatever I'm doing, I don't know what it is. If you want to start the beginning place, my first big place of seeing impact was me starting a Bible study at my high school and more than 400 people coming to know Christ between my junior and senior year. Yeah. I was like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Like, I want to help people find out their purpose and their meaning.
There you go.
But at that time, the only place that I knew how to do that on the context that I wanted to do was as a pastor, right? It was like, yo, like the way to do this is everybody's telling me, Jamal, you're a pastor. Jamal, you're gonna preach and you're gonna stand on stadiums and you're hearing all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, so how do I go be a pastor? How do I learn how to be a pastor? And that's where I went to Bible college. So I go to Bible college for 3 years, get my degree in theology, and I'm headed towards a life of full-time ministry because I thought in my mind, this is the one way to fulfill the calling on my life is I've got to be Pastor Jamal Miller who has a Sunday morning audience that I preach to every single Sunday. And I'm going somewhere with this because this is very important to understand.
Talk to us.
Because what we do is that we put our purpose in frames that make sense to our current understanding. Versus God does not have frames. God is not limited to one context. And that's what I was doing, was I was limiting myself to one context that made sense to me. And I said, okay, I'm going to go and be in ministry full time. So I'm in, so now I'm a youth pastor making $500 a month. I'm single, and I'm like, God, what's up? Like, where's my wife?
Hey, bro, hold on, man. You ain't got to play us youth pastors like that, dog. You know you was making more than 500, maybe 750, but not 500.
Okay. Started at 500, and I got to 1,000 a month. I mean, and so, so that was the beginning point of me being in purpose and ministry and my quote unquote career. And I just knew, I was like, yo, like, there's got to be more. Because as a pastor, and we're going to get real honest, man.
Let's do it.
A lot of times we've been told that this is the way to truly, like, you got to sacrifice. You can't be out here making all this money as a pastor. You got to be careful. You don't want folks to think that you are stealing from the church, or you taking folks' tithes and you putting it into your house and your nice cars. And I'm like, yo, like, if I know I can't make money from ministry, then I've got to find a way to make money in other ways, all right? Because I know that there's more on my life than just having a pastor's salary. And that's where I would say awakening came, that I knew that this is the concept I came. I was like, I know God has called me to have multiple streams, but in order to have multiple streams, I've got to have one stream that is creating the multiple streams.
Whoa. Say that again, bro. Say that again.
I've got to have one stream that creates multiple streams.
Come on, bro. Come on.
And that's where it was like, if ministry is a stream, is it the mainstream or is it one of the streams? And that's the place where I begin to see what makes the most sense as a legitimate stream so I can have the ability to have multiple streams.
There we go.
And that's where business really began to come up. So I meet my wife.
Okay.
We met on Facebook. Crazy story, Facebook love story. Go look it up on YouTube. We meet on Facebook, and we're both virgins, love Jesus.
Wow.
I mean, it was a crazy story how God did it. Fast forward, we get married. She moved to Chicago. I'm still a youth pastor. But then this is where it began, where people begin to like, hey, y'all, like, who are y'all? What's going on with you guys? Man, I saw y'all's YouTube story. So inspired how God brought you together. Two strangers, California, Chicago, the whole story. And that's when people begin to dial into us. And we get this crazy idea. I'm like, babe, like, what if we just create like a blog, created something that we can help people to really do relationships God's way? And the goal, I'm not a entrepreneur by choice. I'm an entrepreneur by accident.
Ooh.
And an entrepreneur by accident is someone that stumbles into something that was not a part of the plan. This is not a person who has a business plan. You don't have the logos. You don't got the brand guide. You don't got the VC capital. You don't got $50,000 in the bank to go towards your new business. You're an accidental entrepreneur where you just stumble on a good idea, a good opportunity. You got no money, no plan, but you go in. And that's where it began for me.
Let's start there. Tell us about the business that you currently have and what exactly do you guys do? Because it's like, I think a lot of people are trying to figure out now, okay, he came from that. Now he has this big 10-figure business. Well, what is it? And then two, let's get down to the practical. How did you even know there was a market for this kind of business that you're going into? So what kind of business do you have? How did you guys do it and build it? And how did you know there was a market for this business?
Great question. So I would consider ourselves, we're an online education company.
Okay.
We're an online education company by which that we give people the confidence to accomplish their life goals through transformational content.
Yeah.
So we create e-learning experiences that give people the education and knowledge and information they need to help them accomplish their life goals. And you may say, well, what are some of those life goals? We have one brand that helps people to get married. That's a life goal for people to get married and have a successful relationship. That's where we started, the One University.
Yeah, I was about to say the One University, bro. I took it, boy. I was like, good gracious, boy. You made me feel convicted in that university, man. I just want you to know. I did meet my wife on there, but,
hey. But it's got you closer. A little bit closer. Come on, guys. So that's one of our brands that we help people get married and accomplish that life goal. We have another brand called Leader School, where we help people to accomplish the life goal of becoming a fully purpose-driven leader for others, worth following, a leader worth following. And then we have another brand called Everyday Seminary. We help people to master the Bible. Yes. So our goal with our brands is to give you the confidence that you need to be able to accomplish your life goals and be the person that God has made you to be. So that is the brand, that is the business in its essence, that we create transformational content.
So how did you know there was a market for it, though? Because everybody's online. So how did you really get in there and be like, all right, cool, this is what we're going to do, and this is how we're going to build it, because the demand is there in the market?
Great question. So there's a great book by the title Blue Ocean Strategy. Blue Ocean. And Blue Ocean Strategy simply is you want to find a market where it's wide open, there's good opportunity. And a lot of people may think, well, is that doing something that's never been done before? No. By you going into a market, you're not trying to find something that's never been done before. You actually want to find something that has been done before, that is proven, and you solve it in a different way. Bruh, let me say it again.
Yes, I was about to say that one more time, because you just completely wrecked somebody right there. Because everyone is always looking for, well, this has never been done before. Well, if it's never been done before, do you really want to be the first person to do it?
No, you want to be very careful, because it's going to take a whole lot of money for you to try to do something that never been done before, right?
Facts,
and
bro.
The Bible even says that there's nothing new under the sun.
Come on,
right?
bro. Yeah.
So let's go back into this, right? If you look at Uber was not doing something new that never been done before. They just did it differently than the way it had already been done, i.e. taxi cabs were already a proven model where people needed to be able to get from one place to the next without having to go buy a car or rent a car, that they can just get in a taxi. Uber came in and said, okay, the problem that I'm solving is to help people go from one place to the next without having to rent or buy a car.
Yes.
All right, how do we do it differently? Instead of it being a taxi drivers, let's get it to where we make it where you have a ride share where you can just ride with somebody who already has a car that they own.
Come on.
They just innovated a new solution.
Come on.
So as you're starting a new business, I began to look at the concept of, okay, at the end of the day, when I look at marriage, relationships was our first focus as a business, was like helping people to have relationships God's way. We saw there were plenty of people that were focused on marriage ministry. Every church had a marriage ministry. Every church was focused on helping couples to have a better relationship. Every place is out here. But what we saw that was missing was, hey, everybody's helping people have great relationships, but they are not focusing on helping people to find the right person. They're more coming in at the place where everyone is having problems and issues after marriage. So we just innovated a new solution. Instead of trying to fix people when the problems start happening, let's fix them before they start having problems. Because we believe that everything that you do before you say I do is preparation for marriage. We simply were solving a problem that was already being solved in a new way. And that's why we became, and this is another concept, find a thing that you can become, quote unquote, category kings at, which means how can I get into a market where I can become the best at it before anyone else and establish myself as category king, i.e. Apple, when they innovated the tablet, right, which basically was the first iPad, because they were first to market, they are now the category king for iPads and for tablets. Everybody else came behind them, Microsoft, Samsung, trying to do what they did.
Facts.
But the reality is that they were the first ones to do it. But they were just solving a problem that's already being solved by taking a computer screen and putting it into a smaller screen. And boom, innovated new solution. So that's that. So as you are a person that's thinking, man, I want to do a business, but I got this idea, but everybody's already doing it. That's great. Just think differently. How do I do it differently?
Man, you know what? That reminds me of my brand. You know, everyone, there's a lot of people out there trying to talk about finances, trying to talk about pay off debt. You know, I would say one of the guys that really stood out is Dave Ramsey, right?
Yes, sir.
And so with me being up underneath his network and his umbrella, I was like, okay, cool. What is my approach? You know, I can't be like Dave because I'm not Dave. I'm younger. I look better. Love you, Dave. I know you're listening. You know, but it's like, okay, how can I help our message get out there? And I was like, yo, I looked at all of our content. A lot of our content are for married couples and a little bit older and a little bit more financially well. I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to flip it. I'm going to go back to the people who are like me, younger, single, and may not make the 80,000, 100,000, but they may be making 30,000, 40,000. So how do I help them avoid debt, start building wealth, so by the time they get older, by the time they get married, they're in a healthier place, because we know what's the number one reason for divorces in America? Finances. Right. So if I could be like you, let me catch you before you get married. Let me catch you, or maybe in the beginning stages of your marriage, and let me hip you to, hey, being debt-free, being a tithe giver, going after things you want and living a life that God has given you, that's sexy, that's cool, but let me show you how to do it way before then, so that way when you get married, you're not having arguments over finances because you've been rocking with your boy Anthony O'Neill. So it goes back to what you're saying. I'm not doing nothing new. I'm looking at what the people before me have done, how they're killing it, how I'm going to remix it and be like, all right, cool. You know what? Being debt-free, that's sexy. You know, I want to make being debt-free and rocking with Jesus Christ sexy. Unlike you, you know, I didn't wait until I got married. I've had my falls. I've made my mistakes. But one thing I'm going to make sure, though, is that when I get married, finances, that's something my wife would not have to struggle with. Because I've been learning, I've been growing, I've been maturing, I've been submitting myself to wise counsel, and I'm like, bro, so I'm with you in that part, man. So for those of you all listening, look at me in this camera right here. Look at me right now in my eyes, all right? Stop trying to be the original. And there's nothing wrong with doing something that's been done, like what Jamal Miller just said. If you want to be a millionaire, just how can you get into this category and put your own spin on it? And it feels original. Because here's the truth. There are some people who will rock with Dave who won't rock with me. There are some people who will rock with me and will not rock with Dave. But they don't get it. If you rocking with either one of us, you rocking with both of us.
You winning. Y'all still winning.
You know?
Because it's about the mission.
Bro, did you know that there are nearly 45 million American people that total up to have $1.6 trillion in student loan debt? Did you know that one of the main reasons preventing people from building true and lasting wealth are student loans? The average person will graduate with $35,000 in student loans, but a fifth of these people will graduate with a mortgage payment but don't even have real estate. That's right. They graduate with $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 in student loan debt. And when I wrote the book, Debt-Free Degree, and I was out there on book tour, and people were asking me, hey, I'm getting this book for my child, but what do you have for me? I have student loans, and I need to pay them off, but I need direction. So I wrote a book called Destroy Your Student Loan Debt, the step-by-step plan on how to pay off your student loans. I want you to get the book. It's only 55 pages long, and I literally walk you through step by step. How do you refi your student loans? How do you pay them off quicker? How do you negotiate some payments lower? I walk you through every single thing. It's a quick read. And if you buy it, it's only $10. $10 can save you 10 years. Get the book right now. Go to AnthonyO'Neill.com, AnthonyO'Neill.com, and change the next 10 years of your life. It's your boy, Anthony O'Neill, and I approve this message. Bro, so you teaching good, man. For those of y'all just now tuning in, listening on a podcast or via watching us on YouTube, I'm on here live. I'm at the table with my boy, Jamal Miller. He and his wife together have built a 10-figure media empire online. They are generating some crazy money simply by helping people, simply by doing what God has called them to do in a creative way. Okay, so let's get back to this thing, Jamal. So you're saying, number one is don't worry about being original. Just jump in there and just figure out how can you make it and put your own spin on it.
Yep.
So I did some studying. I already know you, but I had to do some more studying. How did you start this business with $1,000 cash, bro?
Man, I'll be honest. I don't think I had $1,000. I think I probably spent like maybe $50 on the WordPress website, and
$50.
that was, and that was really the extent of what it took to get the thing going. Was at least getting the website off the ground, and everything else, man, really was just complete, just sheer sweat equity, right?
Wow.
And I think a lot of times how this is done is a lot of people prioritize things that are not the focuses in the early struggle of your business. Stage one of the business needs to be focusing on simply product validation. You need to be at a spot where, number one, how do I get to the people who need what I have as fast as possible?
Okay.
A lot of times people get so caught up with logos and branding and having the $2,000, $3,000 website, having the, all the bells and whistles that don't even matter towards the fact of, do the people that I want to serve want what I have? Period. So how can you, number one, build an audience? And the last time I checked, bro, building an audience does not cost a whole lot of money. All it takes is you getting on your phone, pulling on a Facebook Live, and you start sharing valuable content. Because that's what's going to take for you to build a sustainable business. It's going to have an audience of people who know who you are and trust you enough to open their wallets to buy from you. So that's my focus. My first focus was prioritizing what was most important. And it was creating transformational content that got attention from the people who needed what I had to offer them. That was the focus. And until that thing was working, I wasn't spending money on anything that wasn't helping me do that one thing. So how do we go from having just $1,000 initial money to kind of get going? Because I'm telling you guys right now, I did not have the sustainable income to be able to do what we've done today. It makes no sense if I would have been out here trying to do it the way that all of you would tell you, you got to have a business plan, you got to have the logo done, the website done, you need to make sure you have all these things put together before you step out and do it. Nah, man, I made that leap with nothing in place but simply knowing who I wanted to serve and finding those people as soon as possible. And once I did, I then moved into, because I think, if I was to give the question mark of, how do we grow so quickly coming out of that $1,000, just having that $1,000 to help get the ball moving and going, it was being able to now continue to focus on doing those primary things until we begin to get some serious traction.
Yeah, I love it. So what I hear you saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I want to make sure people get something practical from this thing today, is identify your message and start building your audience. I call it a tribe, because I think sometimes audience just watch, they don't engage, they don't consume the content and transform their lives, and then take that content and transform other lives. So it's like, I totally agree with you. I told my team this last year, I said, hey, you know what? 2020, I just want to focus on building my tribe. That's it.
Yes, sir.
I'm not really worried about, putting out anything brand new. No, I want to build a tribe. So when I do have transformational content via a book, via like what you're doing, something online, I have someone who's actually going to watch it, who's going to purchase it. And so I think what you said is true. You don't need $1,000 for that. Get on Instagram, get on Facebook, get on YouTube. But see, here's the thing. You can build a tribe, but if you don't have something to say or something to give them, you won't keep a tribe.
And a lot of people get held up here. I believe creating content is a process that challenges you.
Yeah.
And let me help you here. I believe you are just as much in the process of helping your audience as much as you are helping yourself.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurship is something that is not just about helping others, but I believe it helps you as a person to grow and become the person and blossom. Because a lot of people hang up like, I'm not ready, I'm not there yet, I don't know enough, I don't have enough. Listen to me. Whenever Lazarus died, and we can go a little sermon here, all Jesus had for that was Lazarus got up out that grave and he had one thing. He didn't know.
One, brother.
He only knew one thing. I was dead. And now I'm alive. That's all he had. And that man made the Bible. He made the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sorry, I'm not in the Bible. Lazarus is in the Bible, and he made it, right? Why? Because he had one thing to say. You don't have to go out here and have a whole book full of information and knowledge. You need to just have one thing that you know worked for you, and you can step out and help others do the same. And let me give you this process, because I believe the hardest part about entrepreneurship is the fact that it does challenge you.
Yes.
And anything that challenges you is going to change you.
Yes.
And I'm sorry, we don't like changing as humans.
Come on, bro.
We like things to be consistent and comfortable and reliable and stable.
Yeah.
That is not entrepreneurship. It is none of those things.
Yeah.
So going into entrepreneurship, you've got to be ready to sign up for something that's going to challenge you, and it's going to challenge you because it's going to change you. But I believe if it changes you, it's changing you for the better.
One thing I've learned, man, about entrepreneurship, and I'm going to put myself out there. People who listen to me often, Jamal, you've known me for a while, my grammar is not the most polished. You know, I come
Come on,
from the
bro.
country, bro. I come
Share
from
it, man.
Darlington, South Carolina. And I remember coming here to the Dave Ramsey show in the first like 6 months. Oh my gosh. We got so many complaints. He doesn't talk well. He sounds like this. He sounds like that. And I got discouraged.
Wow.
And one of my mentors said, he reminded me of what Steve Harvey said. Which one sounds better? I am broke or I is rich. I was like, I like the I is rich part, you know.
Come on, somebody. I'll say that all day.
Yeah, all day. And one of the things that my mentor said, he said, and Dave just said this to us a few weeks ago. He said, if you really want to be successful, you don't have to be the best at what you do. You don't have to have a lot to say, but long as you are a young man or woman of character, a young man or woman of integrity,
come on,
you tell the truth, you're honest, you know, and you're willing to put in the work.
Man.
You don't have to be the smartest, 4.2 GPA. You don't have to graduate from Harvard or Yale or these high-end prestigious schools. One of my dear friends, Darius Daniels, he said, I know a lot of people who went to prestigious schools, but they're not prestigious individuals. But I know a lot of people who went to community college and turned out to be very prestigious people with prestigious companies. But when I really look at it, man, I'm not the best preacher out there. I'm not the best communicator out there. But it's hard to find someone who will outwork me. And when I look at you and what you're doing with your company, and over the last, we met, about 4 or 5 years ago, bro, and you've helped walk me through some of my dating issues. When I ended my engagement, you was there. And it was like, bro, from where you were then to where you are now, you didn't get smarter. You just kept working.
Kept going.
And I'm like,
I didn't quit.
This is easy. So the key thing here is, you guys, and I hope y'all are hearing this, because I wanted to bring him on the show to show you all. Him and his wife are in their young 30s, and they've built something huge. Not because they're the smartest. Now, the boy can preach, so he's definitely one of the best preachers out there. He sits up underneath one of the best preachers. Yes. But hear me clearly. He's a man of character. He's a man of integrity. He works his behind off, and he's always honest and truthful. So got to have a message.
Yes, sir.
Even if it's just a message. As long as you have a message, build you a tribe, get started. When it comes to building, let's just say $1 million business, what else do you want to leave the people with?
This is good. This is a great question. Once you do validate that you have something that works, that people want, how do you scale it? How do you go from 6 figures to now 7 to 8? And I'm going to tell you guys, a lot of you gotta. I had to reevaluate all of these things as I began to go out of being a solopreneur. Okay. Solopreneur is where you're the one doing everything yourself, which I was there. So all of you that may think, well, Jamal has a team. Yeah. No, that was one. I was the customer service manager. I was social media manager. I was the blog manager. I was the strategist. I was the content creator. I've played all the parts. But then as things begin to grow and things begin to get more successful, this is where, hey, you got to make a decision. And the first question I will ask, I'm gonna have with 3 things when it comes to scaling your business. It comes down to 3 things.
All right.
It comes down to purpose, it comes down to profit, and it comes down to people.
Let's do it.
These are 3 important ones. Purpose is something that my business coach, Casey Graham, taught me this. What is your owner's intent? You've got to ask yourself, because you can't base what success is for you based upon what you saw someone else do. So if someone else, you're seeing me say, man, Jamal Scott, he's made 10 million. That's it. That's what success is. No, brother. Be inspired, okay? Be inspired by what I've done, but do not be intimidated and think that that's what you have to model and do in order to be success for you. That's not success for everybody, because you don't have to go make $10 million to be able to live wealthy. And you know that, bro. Like, you can do this with $1 million and be able to rock that and invest it so we can go there. So the first question you must ask yourself is, what is my owner's intent? What is my goal with my business? What does success mean for me? What indicates that I've done a good job? And now I'm going to pivot, move into something else, do something else. I know for me, I want to get the business, my owner's intent, this is where I'm at. It may change, but today I'm saying I want to build Miller Media Group into a $100 million online education company with multiple brands that are reaching millions of people every single year, that allows me to then have the profit to pivot, to invest in real estate and other vehicles that now allow me to have full financial freedom to where I can show up at Miller Media Group, not because I want to, not because I have to, because I want to.
Wait, I got to stop again, bro, because you got to say that again. What do you want to happen again? Because I tell people all the time, you got to know your why. Why are you doing this?
You got to know your why.
And
so for me,
what?
It's building Miller Media Group into a $100 million online education company that allows me to then step out as the CEO running the day-to-day and being founder investor to where I have enough profit to now put into other vehicles that create financial freedom for me and my family, right? That's the goal for me. I want to make enough money in this thing to where I can now, and we're already started. This past year, we just purchased a $700,000 real estate property, mini mall, cash.
That's the beginning
of cash.
That's the beginning.
Dog. Cash. We just purchased a $700,000 commercial property cash because this is a part of my plan for my owner's intent, for my business to create the profit that I can now go buy other investments that continue to create passive income. So my kids, because I can't guarantee that my kids are going to be CEOs like me or marketing people like me, but I can pass them a property that they can continue to oversee and manage and continue to make money off of. So that's my owner's intent. You've got to determine, that's first thing, what is the purpose of my business? It can't be just, I want to make money and not be in the struggle. Nah, that's not big enough. You got to have something that's clear. Don't work from pain, work towards promise and purpose. So that's number one. Number two is profit. When your business starts making money, and at the bottom, you got a P&L, right? Profit and loss. At the bottom, how much money your business keeps. What is your plan for the profit? How are you going to maximize the profit in your business to now be able to take it to the next level and scale? You got to have a plan for that. Having a plan for your money, reinvesting it. For me, my first few years of profit was getting us out of debt. So it was like, yo, before we go out here and try to hire 15, 20 people, let's first get out of debt, pay the car off, pay these things off so that we can now have a more stable personal income coming into our personal lives and we're not paying all this money out. That was our game.
Come on, man.
Was profit.
Yeah.
Then the third is people. Hiring the right people and getting them in the right seat. I guarantee you are not going to be able to grow your business by yourself.
You can't do it.
You need help.
You can't.
So those are the three focuses. What's my owner's intent? What's my purpose of this business?
Yeah.
Number two, do I have a plan for the profit?
Yeah.
How am I going to reinvest the money that's made so it can create more money for my future businesses? And number three, who are the people I need to hire? How can I attract them? How can I get them in the right seat so we can build together? And what you're looking for, a lot of people are so intimidated with hiring people. They're like, nobody wants to be an employee. Nobody wants to work. No. Listen to me. Not everybody trying to be an entrepreneur. There are some people who do believe they're called to be entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And they're looking for someone like you who has the vision and they can come behind you and support you as an operational person. You just got to have the character, the integrity, and the ability to go attract those types of people so they want to follow you.
Come on, man. You teaching so good, man. I wish I had an hour show, bro. I'm
sitting back like, ooh,
I'm looking at my producer like, man, we need an hour show, man. Yo, bro, listen, man. You've dropped so much wisdom on here. And as we come to close out this show, I want to say this, and I want to see if you agree with this. One of the things that I see within this younger generation, not just this younger generation, within entrepreneurs, is that oftentimes they think charisma trumps character. And I think they feel, well, because I got the swag, because I know how to make people shout in the church, or because I have, the gift of the gab, I can talk them into this. I don't have to have character because of what I say and how I say it, or because of what I do and how I do it. It'll get me far. That's what I want to leave people with today. And I want to see, what do you want to leave some people with? But for me, for those of you all listening today, there are some practical things that we went over today. Getting your message, building a tribe, starting with something. But I think one of the greatest things when it comes to entrepreneurship, I was reading a book and it said, people do not quit the jobs, they quit people. Yeah. And I think they quit people because they feel as if that person didn't have character. And I want to say, as you're building this business, as you're building your multi-million-dollar business, because I believe it. And as a matter of fact, right now, I want you to drop your name. I want you to drop your business name. If you don't have your business name, I want you to drop your future business name or your future business idea below. And I'm going to be praying over all these names and businesses if you're watching on YouTube. If you're listening on podcasts, hey, jump over to YouTube real quick and just type in your name, type in your business name, your business idea, and I'm going to be praying over all these businesses. Not that you will just launch the business, not that you will just keep the business going, but that you can turn this into a 10-figure multi-business idea or multi-business brand like Jamal and his wife. But I think you can do all this, but if you do not have character, you can lose it all. And that's something that I'm working on with myself, bro. I have flaws within my character that I'm personally praying on and saying, God, strengthen this, get away with this crap. Because I want to make sure as God continues to elevate me, my character can handle that level that I'm on. And I know that there are some flaws inside of me that I need to check, that I need to get fixed. That's why I submit myself to my pastor, Pastor Faison, here in Nashville. That's why I go to my therapist and sit down with her and just start fine-tuning some things. Because even with my team here, I'm like, oh, Anthony, you need to check that. That was wrong. Hey, you didn't seem grateful there. Or, boy, your character was kind of arrogant right there, bro. Like, what are you doing? And so I just really wanted to say character trumps charisma, okay? Don't focus on having charisma. Focus on having character. Focus on having integrity, and just stay true. And if you can focus on those three things, the other stuff God will provide. He will surround you with the right people. But you just want to make sure when God gives you the people to do his dream, because it's his thing. We're just called to be managers of it, that we have the character in place. We're coming to a close, bro. What do you want to leave the people with?
Man, I love that. I love what you just said, because it's so true. Even as we close, character is something that I would say is the more money you make, the more it reveals who you really are.
Ooh.
And if you're not ready for that, don't go out here focusing on trying to attain a lot of wealth, because it's going to reveal the true person you are.
Yeah.
But don't be scared of that.
Yeah.
Let that be something that motivates you.
Yeah.
Because I know the more I learn about myself, the more I can be conformed into the image of Christ and submit those weaknesses so that he can help me be able to be the person he's called me to be. My encouragement to you, business owners, future business owners, entrepreneurs, you may ask the question, Jamal, I don't know if I'm called to be an entrepreneur. I don't know if this and that. Like I said, I believe everybody has the responsibility of creating multiple streams. I believe God's given that responsibility to everyone to not depend on one stream and to be able to have multiple streams. Now, does entrepreneurship have to be one of your streams? No, it doesn't. You can be employed and be able to successfully build a strong career in a place where you make enough money that creates the ability for you to go invest in real estate and stocks and other things, other vehicles as an employed person. Don't think entrepreneurship is the only one. But here's the thing, whether you are an entrepreneur or you are an employee, here's what I would tell you. Dream big, start small.
Yep.
Dream big, start small. A lot of times what people do is they dream big and they try to start big and they try to jump too far.
So good.
Too fast.
So good.
And then they get traumatized.
Yeah.
Because they fail.
Yeah.
And then it hurts. So my encouragement to you as we close this out, whether you're an employee or entrepreneur, dream big.
Yeah.
Start small.
Dream big, start small. I love it, man. Thank you so much for your time, bro. We got to do this again. We got to do this again. We got to bring you back.
We can bring the wife on.
Yes.
We can wrap it up. We can talk relationships and how we've been able to do it as a couple. Man, there's a lot here for a lot of folks to really help.
Oh, man.
Especially your tribe, man, because there's some. Your tribe ain't nothing like the Anthony O'Neill tribe. Bro,
I love my tribe, man. They are the realest. They keep me in check. They keep me fired up. They keep me going, man. So how can people learn more about you, your brand? How can they jump on some of y'all's online sessions? I mean, because y'all, literally, if you are just an everyday person and you just want to dive deeper into the word, I took that course with Pastor Darius Daniels, and that course blessed my life, bro. And so how can people learn more about what you and your wife are building and offering to the community, bro?
Yep. So you can stay updated with us. You can check out my Instagram at Jamal Miller. I'm always talking about all the different things that's happening and going on.
Yeah.
You can go to my YouTube channel where we have a new series called Behind the Brand on YouTube, really showcasing what we do, how we do it. And then for our brands, you can go to theoneuniversity.com if you want to learn more about how to get married God's way. That's the brand for relationships. You can go to leaderschool.com if you're trying to learn more about leadership and developing as a leader. Or you can go to everydayseminary.com where if you want to learn more about learning about the Bible. And just stay tuned. We're consistently creating new brands. Our focus for the next one is to create a brand around mental health.
Yeah.
So we really want to be able to continue to help challenge everyday people on how to be the best version of themselves.
Yeah, man. Well, I love it, y'all. This is what we do. We'll drop those links inside the show description, so make sure to check that out because I want y'all to connect with them. I've done 2 of those, and I'm telling you right now, I personally sign off on all of them. Good, solid Christian-based, faith-based content there that are practical, and I love it. So we'll drop those links in the show description. You guys don't forget, y'all, we keep it real, relevant, and relatable right here on the table every single Monday at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. Today we have my dear friend, my brother, Pastor Jamal Miller and his amazing wife. And unfortunately, she couldn't make it because she's at the hospital coming home with their newborn. Third baby, debt-free baby, millionaire baby.
She coming into a whole new season.
She coming into a whole new thing.
The other 2 was born on state aid. Come on, somebody.
Come on, brother. I love it. And so listen, don't forget, I want you to drop your name, drop your business name, or drop your future business name in the comments below if you're watching on YouTube, so that way I can pray over them. I'm going to give everyone, I'm going to give you 3 business days. So starting on Wednesday, I'm going to be praying over these names. I'm just going to do just a good whole day of just praying over these names and your businesses, because I believe for those of you all watching us right now, you will be a millionaire. You will be debt-free. You will be purchasing land. You will be building a legacy. Your last name will be stronger than your first name, in the words of my great brother, Pastor Brian Bullock, because of you just being a good steward and getting the wisdom. So it's your boy, Anthony O'Neal. It's another one. We did it again. Yes. I'm going to see y'all next week. Peace out.